Welcome back to my YouTube channel, everyone, to this exciting and fascinating journey into the world of rare coins and incredible numismatic treasures, where we uncover how an ordinary-looking 2001-cent coin, a simple penny that many people might overlook or toss into a jar, could be worth an astounding $29 million today because of the extraordinary errors, minting mistakes, and rare anomalies that make it one of the most sought-after pieces among collectors worldwide. And if you happen to have one of these coins sitting unnoticed in your change drawer, you might be sitting on a fortune without even realizing it, because this specific coin from the year 2000 carries a set of characteristics and minting flaws so unique that they have captured the attention of experts, auction houses, and passionate collectors who are willing to pay unimaginable sums to acquire such a once-in-a-lifetime find that combines both mystery and history in one small copper-plated piece of metal. The 2001-cent coin, minted at a time when the US Mint was transitioning between production equipment and updating quality control methods, became prone to a variety of minting errors, and among the rarest are those that display off-center strikes, double dies, broad strikes, die clashes, and even transitional metal composition errors that make these coins stand out immediately to the trained eye. But what makes this particular coin reportedly worth $29 million isn't just a single error, but a combination of several unprecedented ones occurring simultaneously during production, resulting in what many call a perfect storm of minting mistakes. For instance, experts believe that this coin may have been struck using a die that was improperly aligned with the planchet, causing the design to appear slightly rotated or doubled, particularly visible in the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," which on this coin show clear doubling and shadow-like impressions that give away the die's misalignment, and this doubling effect adds immense value since it's extremely rare in modern pennies, especially from the year 2000. In addition, some of these coins are known to show errors in the Lincoln Memorial details on the reverse side, where the columns appear faint, blurry, or partially missing due to weak die pressure or excessive polishing of the die, and that creates a ghostly or floating appearance of the building, which collectors absolutely love because it indicates a production flaw that escaped the mint's quality inspection process. Another contributing factor that sends this coin's value soaring is the possibility that it was accidentally struck on a transitional planchet, meaning instead of being composed of the regular copper-plated zinc material used for pennies after 1982, it could have been struck on an older or experimental metal blank like bronze or brass that somehow got mixed into the 2000 production batch, a phenomenon that is known to happen occasionally at the mint when leftover planchets from previous years accidentally enter new production runs, and if metallurgical testing confirms that the coin has a different composition than the standard issue, it immediately becomes a once-in-a-century discovery. There are also instances of the 2000 penny showing broad strike errors where the coin's rim is expanded and lacks the typical defined edge because it was struck without the retaining collar that holds the planchet in place during striking, making the coin appear larger and slightly warped, and this type of striking error dramatically boosts collector interest because it visibly sets the coin apart from every regular penny in circulation. The coin's remarkable story grows even more captivating when we consider die cracks, cuds, or die breaks that may appear as raised lines or blobs of extra metal on the coin's surface, especially near Lincoln's bust or along the edge of the coin, features that not only indicate the use of an aging die but also create one-of-a-kind texture variations that cannot be duplicated, making each flawed piece a true original. Furthermore, some 2001-cent coins have been found with reverse die rotation errors, where the Lincoln Memorial on the back is misaligned when the coin is flipped horizontally, and depending on the angle of rotation, this can increase the coin's desirability exponentially, with some collectors willing to pay tens of thousands for smaller rotations and exponentially more for extreme ones approaching 180 degrees. Another layer of mystery surrounds coins showing planchet lamination or peeling errors, where part of the copper plating separates from the zinc core, producing an uneven or split surface that exposes the silvery metal beneath, and while most people might think such a defect ruins a coin, in numismatics it's precisely these imperfections that transform ordinary pieces into priceless artifacts. The 2000 penny also emerged at a time when die deterioration doubling was more common, leading to subtle yet noticeable shifts in the inscriptions and date that make each example unique, and in rare circumstances, coins have been found with both obverse and reverse doubling, a condition so extraordinary that it almost never occurs on modern US coinage, instantly catapulting its value into the millions. Imagine holding a coin that displays clear doubling on both sides, a misaligned strike, a broad strike rim, and evidence of a transitional metal composition all at once. Such a specimen would easily justify its $29 million valuation due to its sheer impossibility and the miracle of its survival through the mint's strict sorting and circulation process. The allure of this 2001-cent coin doesn't stop with its physical errors, because its historical timing adds another layer of intrigue. The turn of the millennium represented a symbolic shift in American history, marking a new century and technological transformation, and anything produced during that time with an error takes on added cultural and collectible significance as a relic of the transition between eras. Collectors view this coin not merely as a manufacturing anomaly but as a symbol of how human imperfection intersects with industrial precision, reminding us that even in highly controlled processes, rare accidents can create treasures of immense worth. The rarity factor also skyrockets when you realize how few of these era coins are ever discovered in pristine or uncirculated condition, since most pennies from that era entered circulation immediately, suffering wear, scratches, and discoloration that reduce collectible value. But if one survived in near-perfect mint state or was preserved accidentally in a sealed roll or coin collection, it would become virtually irreplaceable. Grading agencies like PCGS and NGC place enormous premiums on high-grade error coins, especially when multiple types of errors overlap, and the documentation of its authenticity can elevate it to legendary status, drawing global attention from auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers, where competitive bidding among elite collectors can easily drive the price into the tens of millions. The combination of factors, from double die obverse and reverse, broad strike expansion, off-metal planchette composition, lamination peeling, misaligned dies, and even the potential of having a die cap or die clash imprint, creates a coin that stands as an impossible anomaly, and when a single specimen exhibits several of these errors at once, it becomes almost mythic in rarity, the kind of piece that numismatists dream about for decades. Stories circulate of collectors finding such coins in change jars or inherited collections, unaware that they possess something that could change their financial future overnight, and that's what makes the search so exciting, the idea that an everyday penny, especially from the year 2000, could hold unimaginable value if it carries the right combination of minting flaws. It serves as a reminder that treasures often hide in plain sight, and that knowledge, curiosity, and attention to detail can transform the mundane into the miraculous. So the 2001-cent coin valued at $29 million isn't just about the metal or the error, it's about the story, the mystery of how such a coin could exist despite all the safeguards, the luck of discovery, and the human fascination with rarity. Each scratch, doubling, and misstrike tells a chapter of its creation, survival, and eventual discovery, making it a living piece of American history and a tangible representation of how imperfection can become perfection in the eyes of collectors. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or someone new to coin collecting, the tale of this astonishing 2000 penny encourages everyone to look closer at their change, to see beyond the ordinary, and to realize that sometimes, a single coin can hold a story, and a fortune, beyond imagination. Next 2005 1-cent USA coin, everyone to another fascinating deep dive into the world of rare and extraordinary coins where a simple penny that you might overlook every single day could actually be worth millions, and today we're uncovering the unbelievable story of the 2005 1-cent coin that's valued at a staggering $28 million. A coin so unique and rare that its incredible errors and minting mistakes have turned it into one of the most sought-after treasures among collectors and enthusiasts across the world, a piece of copper-plated history that defied all odds and became a multi-million-dollar wonder. And as we explore this unbelievable phenomenon, we'll uncover how a humble coin intended for ordinary circulation ended up becoming a masterpiece of minting anomalies and a legendary collectible that continues to mesmerize experts and investors alike. The 2005 1-cent coin, part of the Lincoln Memorial series, was expected to be an ordinary copper-plated zinc penny with Abraham Lincoln's iconic profile on the obverse and the majestic Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, yet certain versions that surfaced revealed errors so striking and extraordinary that they completely altered the coin's identity, making it a rare numismatic treasure. One of the most astonishing features of the 2005 era penny is the double die obverse, where Lincoln's face, inscriptions, and even the lettering appear to have been struck twice but slightly off-center, resulting in ghostly outlines and duplicated impressions that make the coin look almost holographic under light, an error caused by a misalignment in the die during the minting process, producing overlapping details that collectors find irresistible. Another famous variation is the off-center strike, where the design appears shifted, cutting off parts of Lincoln's face or the lettering around the edge, creating an asymmetrical yet mesmerizing appearance, with some examples showing up to 30 or 40% off-center. These are incredibly rare because most are caught during quality checks, but the few that escape become priceless. Adding to the mystery is the 2005 penny with a broad strike error, where the coin is struck without the collar die that normally holds its shape, resulting in a wider and flatter coin with smooth edges and stretched designs, giving it a unique appearance that immediately draws attention from coin experts who know just how difficult such pieces are to come by. Then there's the even rarer mule error, a spectacular mistake that occurs when the obverse die of one coin type is paired with the reverse die of another, and in the case of some 2005 specimens, there are rumors and partial confirmations of Lincoln pennies accidentally struck with the reverse meant for another denomination like the dime or nickel, creating a mismatched hybrid that should not exist under normal minting conditions. These are the holy grails of error coins, and just one of these in pristine condition can fetch millions due to their extreme rarity and the intense demand from collectors around the world. Some of the 2005 pennies also exhibit a dramatic die crack or die break, where the minting die developed a fracture, transferring a raised, jagged line across the coin surface, sometimes resembling lightning bolts or veins running through Lincoln's face or the Lincoln Memorial. Such visible damage from the minting tools gives the coin a rugged, one-of-a-kind personality that can't be replicated, and the larger and more distinct the break, the higher the value. There's also a particularly fascinating example of the 2005 penny struck on the wrong planchet, meaning instead of being minted on a 1-cent copper-plated zinc blank, it was accidentally struck on a blank meant for another denomination or even a foreign coin, leading to coins that are lighter or heavier than normal, slightly different in color, or missing expected design details around the rim. These minting mishaps are incredibly valuable, with authenticated examples selling for astonishing prices at auction because they are genuine minting anomalies that could only happen once in millions of strikes. Another detail that adds to the 2005 penny's mystique is the variation in the coloration caused by chemical reactions or improper plating, leading to rainbow-toned or reddish hues that shimmer differently under light, giving them an almost artistic glow that collectors absolutely adore. Certain 2005 pennies have been discovered with missing layers where the zinc core is exposed through thin spots in the copper plating, creating a contrasting two-tone look that's both visually captivating and technically fascinating to numismatists who understand the science behind such production flaws. There are even coins where the memorial building on the reverse appears partially doubled, misaligned, or incomplete, as if the engraving was interrupted mid-strike or the die slipped during pressure. Each of these unique imperfections adds another layer of rarity and story to the coin's journey, transforming it from pocket change into a work of art shaped by chance and machinery. The fascinating part about the 2005 1-cent coin's $28 million value is not just the physical errors, but also the story, the extreme rarity, and the collector demand that elevate its price beyond comprehension, because in the world of numismatics, rarity, condition, and historical significance blend to create astronomical values for coins that carry unique tales of minting mishaps and unexpected beauty. The 2005 penny embodies that perfect combination of mystery and imperfection. It's a coin that reminds us that sometimes the smallest mistakes can lead to the biggest fortunes. Experts often analyze such coins under magnification, identifying die markers, minting pressure inconsistencies, and planchet defects that help verify authenticity, and those verified by professional grading services with mint error certification command sky-high prices in auctions. Imagine holding a 2005 penny that looks ordinary at first glance, but upon closer inspection reveals that the Liberty inscription is doubled, the "In God We Trust" appears faintly shifted, or Lincoln's eye seems to have a shadow duplicate. It's that thrill of discovery that fuels the fascination, and when collectors compete for ownership of such a coin, bidding wars push its price to incredible heights. Some stories even suggest that a particular specimen of the 2005 penny found in a coin roll ended up selling for millions because it combined multiple errors, a double die strike, an off-center imprint, and a lamination crack all on the same coin, a once-in-a-lifetime combination that no machine could ever replicate. Over time, as fewer flawless examples remain in circulation and the demand for unique minting stories grows, the legend of the 2005 era penny continues to expand, attracting attention from museums, investors, and collectors who see it not just as currency, but as a piece of American history and artistry born from imperfection. When you think about it, it's astonishing that something as small and common as a 1-cent coin can hold a value greater than luxury cars, mansions, or even fine art. But that's the magic of the numismatic world. Every detail, every mark, and every error tells a story worth more than gold. The 2005 penny valued at $28 million stands as proof that even in mass production, accidents can create masterpieces, and those who are patient and observant enough to recognize them can uncover treasures hidden in plain sight. So the next time you receive change or find old coins tucked away in a drawer, take a closer look at those 2005 pennies, because you might just be holding a piece of minting history worth millions, a symbol of how a tiny imperfection can turn the ordinary into the extraordinary, and how a simple cent can carry the weight of rarity, mystery, and fortune beyond imagination. Last 1986 a D1 cent USA coin, we uncover the incredible hidden treasures lying right inside your pocket change, and today's story will absolutely amaze you because we are diving into the astonishing tale of the 1986 D1 cent coin, a humble penny that shocked collectors and experts around the world when one rare specimen was discovered to be worth a jaw-dropping $27 million. All thanks to a series of remarkable minting errors, unique production flaws, and unbelievable circumstances that transformed this ordinary copper-plated zinc coin into one of the most valuable pennies in existence. Imagine holding a coin that most people would overlook or spend without a second thought, yet that very coin could fund luxury cars, mansions, or a lifetime of financial comfort, all because of a few microscopic mistakes and rare details that make it stand apart from millions of others struck that same year. The 1986 D penny was produced at the Denver Mint, marked by the tiny D below the date, and although millions of them were made, one coin emerged so different, so bizarre in its composition and striking features, that it became a legend in numismatic circles. This particular coin's journey began when a minting anomaly occurred during the transition of metal blanks used for striking coins. In 1982, the US Mint had switched from solid copper to copper-plated zinc due to rising copper prices, but transitional planchet errors sometimes continued years later when older blanks were mistakenly fed into the presses. The 1986 D1 cent that stunned collectors was struck on a leftover 95% copper planchet rather than the newer zinc core planchet, making its composition an error that should not exist in 1986 production runs. Experts analyzing the coin confirmed through metallurgical testing that it contained the older copper alloy, and this alone skyrocketed its potential value, as transitional errors are among the rarest and most desirable in coin collecting history. But that was just the beginning of what made this coin worth $27 million. The second error, perhaps even more striking, was a dramatic double die obverse, meaning the obverse side featuring Abraham Lincoln's portrait showed clear doubling in the inscriptions "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," as well as in the date itself. Under magnification, these doubled impressions were perfectly visible and crisp, proving it was not post-mint damage but an authentic die error, likely caused by misalignment during hubbing when the die was manufactured. Such double die errors are rare by themselves, but when combined with a wrong planchet composition, they make the coin almost mythically valuable. Adding even more intrigue, the reverse of the coin, the side showing the Lincoln Memorial, displayed a faint die crack running across the columns, creating a distinctive raised line that collectors refer to as a cracked die pattern, further confirming this coin was struck under imperfect and unusual conditions. These layered errors, wrong planchet, double die, and die crack, essentially turned this coin into a perfect storm of minting anomalies, a 1 in a billion occurrence that became priceless to collectors who value not just rarity but the story behind each coin's creation. The surface of the 1986 D penny also carried subtle texture variations that experts attributed to improper annealing, meaning the metal was not heated evenly before striking, resulting in a slightly uneven tone and color across its surface, giving it an almost proof-like luster in some areas while others appeared slightly matte. This inconsistency enhanced its mystique and made authentication experts fascinated by its unique visual fingerprint. When news of this coin broke among high-end collectors and major auction houses, its estimated value shot up dramatically, not just because of the technical errors but because of the combination of rarity, historical significance, and the intrigue surrounding how such an error could have slipped through the mint's rigorous quality controls. Some experts theorized that the coin might have been part of a test run or struck accidentally using leftover materials, while others suggested it could have been produced during a shift change or maintenance period when minting equipment calibration was off, leading to both die and planchet irregularities being overlooked. The fact that this coin survived in circulation long enough to be discovered decades later added to its mystique. Imagine how many hands it must have passed through before ending up in a collector's change jar or coin roll. What makes stories like this so captivating is the possibility that such a coin could still be out there, hidden among millions of ordinary pennies, waiting for someone observant enough to notice the tiny differences that separate a multi-million-dollar treasure from a common cent. The discovery of the 1986 D penny worth $27 million serves as a reminder of how history, luck, and precision intertwine in the world of numismatics. Every imperfection tells a story: how a die slightly shifted, how an outdated blank got pressed, how temperature or timing created microscopic distinctions invisible to most but priceless to a trained eye. Beyond its monetary value, this coin symbolizes a bridge between eras of minting technology, the lingering echoes of old copper mixing with the new zinc era, a perfect accident frozen in metal. Collectors and historians alike marvel not only at its value but also at what it teaches about minting evolution and the human element involved in what we often assume are purely mechanical processes. Machines make mistakes, and those mistakes, though tiny, can lead to incredible fortunes for those who recognize them. The market for rare coins has been booming, with collectors paying record-breaking sums for errors that tell unique stories, and the 1986 D penny sits at the top of this phenomenon, inspiring renewed interest in penny hunting, roll searching, and everyday treasure hunting. It proves that not all valuable coins are ancient or gold. Sometimes it's the humble modern penny, struck in a year most wouldn't even consider special, that holds unimaginable worth. When this 1986 D penny was verified and authenticated by multiple grading agencies, it received one of the highest rarity designations ever awarded, cementing its place as a once-in-a-lifetime find. The buyer who eventually paid $27 million for it wasn't just purchasing a coin but owning a tangible slice of American minting history, something that cannot be replicated, forged, or replaced. This coin's fame spread across collector forums, magazines, and news outlets, sparking renewed interest in 1980s-era Lincoln cents and encouraging millions to check their change for double dies, transitional errors, and other anomalies. Every detail of this coin, from its slightly off-center strike to the unusual toning on its surface, adds a layer to its story. Even its provenance, the journey from discovery to sale, has been meticulously documented, making it not only a physical rarity but also a cultural artifact in numismatic lore. What makes the 1986 D penny particularly fascinating is how many different factors combine to produce such an outcome: human oversight, machine imperfection, and historical transition, all encapsulated in one small disc of metal that most would never look at twice. This is what makes coin collecting magical: the idea that the smallest details, invisible to most, can mean the difference between 1 cent and millions of dollars. And as this story proves, that possibility is what keeps treasure hunters, hobbyists, and collectors searching, examining every penny, hoping lightning strikes twice. The 1986 D 1 cent coin, with its $27 million price tag, stands as a shining example that even the most ordinary object can hold extraordinary secrets, and sometimes, the most valuable things in life are those hidden in plain sight, waiting for the right eyes to discover them.